My wife Sarah orchestrated the perfect Christmas party. I watched her move through our home in Denver's Washington Park neighborhood, adjusting the garland on the staircase, checking the prime rib in the oven, her smile bright and easy. 30 guests were coming. My parents, her parents, siblings, close friends. Everything had to be flawless. What she didn't know was that her lover's conscience would shatter that perfection in front of everyone we knew. I'm Jake Morrison, 38, partner at a mid-sized architectural firm. Sarah and I had been married 12 years. We met when I was 26, still grinding through late nights at my first firm, and she was finishing her marketing degree. She was beautiful, ambitious, and we built something I thought was solid. 2 kids, Emma, 10, and Connor, 7. A restored craftsman we'd renovated together. The kind of life that looks perfect in Christmas cards. The afternoon before the party, I was in my home office finishing drawings for a mixed-use project downtown when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. Is this Jake Morrison? A man's voice shaking. Yeah, who's this? My name is David Chen. I work with Sarah. Long pause. I need to talk to you. About Sarah and me. My hand tightened on the phone. I'm listening. He couldn't finish. I can't do this anymore. I have a wife, kids. This is destroying me. I felt something cold settle in my chest. How long? 8 months, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She said you two were basically over, that you didn't care, that... Where are you meeting her? The Hyatt on 14th. Wednesdays and Fridays usually. Lunch hours. His voice cracked. I'm telling my wife tonight, before Christmas. I thought you should know. He hung up. I sat there, staring at the blueprints in front of me. A building I designed with clean lines and honest materials. Everything in its right place. My marriage was apparently built on something else entirely. I didn't confront Sarah that night. I watched her instead. She came home at 6:30, kissed my cheek, asked about my day. She smelled like jasmine and lies. I told her the project was fine, asked about her day at the marketing firm where she was a senior account manager. She talked about client meetings, holiday campaigns, the stress of year-end deadlines, nothing about Wednesday afternoons at the Hyatt. The next morning, I did something I'd never done. I checked our cell phone records online. There it was, David Chen's number. Texts every day, sometimes 20 or 30. Calls during my late nights at the office, during my Saturday morning runs with Emma. I opened our credit card statements. The Hyatt charged to her card, twice a week since April. Lunches at restaurants I'd never heard of. A hotel in Breckenridge the weekend I'd taken the kids to visit my parents in Colorado Springs. I felt like I was reviewing documents for a demolition project. Here's the structure. Here's what's compromised. Here's what needs to come down. That evening was the party. Sarah was radiant in a green dress, her dark hair perfect, playing the role of gracious host. My parents arrived first, then hers. My brother Mark and his wife. Our neighbors. Sarah's colleagues from the firm. I shook hands, poured drinks, smiled. The house smelled like pine and cinnamon. Frank Sinatra played softly. Everything was exactly as it should be. Around 7, the doorbell rang. Sarah went to answer it. I was in the kitchen when I heard her voice go tight. David, what are you doing here? I walked to the foyer. A man in his mid-30s stood there, looking like he hadn't slept in days. His wife stood beside him, her face hard. I need to tell them, David said. His eyes found mine. All of them. Sarah's face went white. You need to leave. Now. No. His wife's voice cut through. You don't get to control this anymore. The living room conversation died. Everyone turned. My mother stood near the fireplace, confusion on her face. Sarah's parents were by the Christmas tree. Mark moved closer, sensing something wrong. David stepped fully inside. I'm sorry to do this here, but I can't live with this anymore. He looked at me. Your wife and I have been having an affair for 8 months. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The room went silent. Someone dropped a glass. Sarah's mouth opened, but nothing came out. David's wife spoke, her voice shaking. "We've been married 9 years. We have 2 children, and he threw it all away for lunch hour sex at the Hyatt." She looked at Sarah. "Did you tell him Jake worked late because he was building something? Did you tell him your marriage was over?" "That's what you told my husband." Sarah finally found words. "This is insane. David, you're having some kind of breakdown." "Stop," I said quietly. "I know about the Hyatt. I know about Wednesdays and Fridays. I know about Breckenridge." Her eyes met mine. I saw the calculation, the search for an exit, the reality settling in that there wasn't one. My father stepped forward. "Jake, maybe we should—" "No, Dad. Everyone should hear this. Because apparently, I'm the only one who didn't know." I turned to Sarah. 8 months. While I was working late to make partner. While I was coaching Connor's soccer team. While I was planning this perfect fucking Christmas you wanted. She tried to reach for me. "Jake, please. Can we talk about this privately? Like you and David talked privately?" I felt Mark's hand on my shoulder. "I think we're past private." David was crying now. "I'm sorry. To everyone. I'm sorry." His wife pulled him toward the door. "We're leaving. Our lawyer will contact yours." They left. The room remained frozen. Sarah's mother started crying. Her father stared at his daughter like he didn't recognize her. "Everyone should go," I said. "Christmas is over." People gathered coats in silence. My mother hugged me. Mark whispered that he'd call tomorrow. Within 20 minutes, the house was empty, except for Sarah and me. She stood in the living room, surrounded by the wreckage of her perfect party. "Jake, I can explain." "Don't. Not tonight." I grabbed my keys. "I'm sleeping at Mark's. Don't call me. Don't text. Tomorrow we'll talk about lawyers and custody and how this works. Tonight, you can stay here with your perfect decorations and your lies." I drove through Denver's dark streets, my hands steady on the wheel, my mind oddly clear. The marriage was over. That much was certain. What came next would require the same methodical approach I used for building design. Assess the foundation, salvage what's worth keeping, rebuild from there. I spent Christmas Day at Mark's place in Littleton, fielding calls from family and drafting a plan. Mark, a corporate attorney, sat across from me at his kitchen table with coffee and legal pads. "First thing Monday, you need a divorce lawyer," he said. "Not just any lawyer, someone who specializes in complex asset division. You've got the house, your partnership stake, retirement accounts. This needs to be strategic." I kept every credit card statement, phone record, the works. I said, "I want custody, primary custody." With her affair documented, that's achievable. Colorado is no fault, but her behavior matters for custody and potentially spousal support. Mark studied me. "How are you this calm?" "I'm not calm. I'm focused." I stared at my coffee. For 8 months, I believed in something that didn't exist. I won't make decisions based on lies anymore. Monday morning, I met with Catherine Reeves, a family law attorney Mark recommended. Her office overlooked downtown Denver, all glass and steel. She was 50, sharp-eyed, and direct. "Your documentation is excellent," she said, reviewing the folder I'd compiled. "Phone records, credit card statements, text message logs. Did your wife know you were gathering this?" "No. I found out Saturday afternoon, documented everything that night, and the affair was exposed at our Christmas party." Catherine's eyebrows rose. "Exposed how?" I explained David's confession. She almost smiled. "That's unusual. Most cases involve months of hiding and discovery. You have witnesses to a public admission of infidelity. What does that give me? Leverage. For custody, primarily. Colorado doesn't punish infidelity financially in divorce, but courts consider parental fitness. A mother who conducted an extended affair, lied repeatedly, and exposed the children to that instability. It matters." She leaned forward. "What do you want?" "Primary custody. The house. Fair division of assets. I want her out of Emma and Connor's daily lives except for scheduled visitation, and I want this done quickly. Expect 4 to 6 months minimum. She'll fight. Let her fight. I have the truth. Sarah called 17 times that day. I didn't answer. She showed up at the office Tuesday afternoon. My assistant stopped her at reception. "Jake, please," she said when I finally came out. "Can we talk?" We walked to a conference room. She looked terrible. No makeup, hair pulled back, eyes red. "I know I destroyed everything," she said. "I know you hate me. But can we try counseling? For the kids?" The kids didn't need counseling until their mother decided to screw her colleague at lunch hour twice a week for 8 months. She flinched. It wasn't like that." "Then what was it like, Sarah? Explain it to me. Because from where I'm sitting, you lied to everyone. To me, to your parents, to our children. You told David I didn't care, that our marriage was over. You made me the villain in your story to justify what you wanted. I was lonely. You worked all the time. You cared more about your buildings than us. I worked to make partner so we'd be secure, so the kids' college would be covered, so you could have this house and your career and everything you said you wanted. I kept my voice level. You weren't lonely. You were selfish. There's a difference. So that's it? 12 years and you're just done? You were done 8 months ago. You just didn't tell me." She started crying. I felt nothing. Not anger, not sadness. Just the cold certainty that this woman wasn't who I thought she was. "My lawyer will contact yours. I want primary custody. I want you out of the house by the end of January. I'll pay temporary support until the divorce is final, but after that, you're on your own." "Jake, please." "I'm done, Sarah. There's nothing left to discuss." I walked out. Behind me, I heard her crying harder. I didn't look back. That week, I told Emma and Connor. Mark and his wife came over for support. The kids sat on the couch, confused and scared. "Mom and I are getting divorced," I said. "It's not because of anything you did. Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes, and this is something we can't fix." "Is it because of the party?" Emma asked. She'd been upstairs but had heard enough. "Because that man came and said things?" "Yes, sweetheart. Your mom made choices that hurt our family. But she still loves you both. I love you both. That never changes." Connor, 7 and less understanding, just asked if he could still play soccer. Emma cried. I held them both, promising stability when everything felt chaotic. Sarah moved to an apartment in Capitol Hill in mid-January. I bought out her half of the house with a loan against my partnership stake. Catherine negotiated temporary custody. The kids stayed with me during the week, with Sarah every other weekend. In February, I learned more details I hadn't wanted. David Chen's wife filed for divorce the week after Christmas. David was apparently devastated, according to mutual friends. Sarah had been the pursuer, the one who suggested the affair, who said her marriage was already over. David was weak, guilty, and ultimately broken by his own conscience. Sarah's colleagues distanced themselves from her. Her parents barely spoke to her. She'd built a life on a certain image, successful, devoted wife and mother, and watched it collapse publicly at Christmas. I felt no satisfaction, just exhaustion and the need to keep building forward. One night in late February, I sat in my office at home, reviewing drawings for a community center project I'd won. Emma came in, her homework done. "Dad, are you okay?" "Yes, sweetheart, just working." "You work a lot." "I know, but I'm going to do better. I promise." She hugged me, then went back to her room. I stared at the drawings, clean lines, honest materials, everything in its right place. I'd build something better this time. Not perfect, but real. Spring brought new rhythms. I adjusted my schedule, leaving the office by 5 most days. Connor's soccer games, Emma's track meets, homework at the kitchen table. The house felt more lived in without Sarah's need for constant perfection. In March, the community center project broke ground. I stood on site in Cherry Creek, watching the foundation being poured. My design featured exposed timber and glass, bringing natural light into spaces where kids and families would gather. Real materials, honest construction. It felt like metaphor. Beautiful work, Jake, said the project manager Tom Brennan, a guy in his 50s who'd built half of Denver. This is going to be something special. Thanks. It's the first project where I'm lead architect. Want it to matter. It will. You've got the gift. Buildings that feel human. That evening, Emma asked if she could invite her friend Sophie over for the weekend. Normal kid stuff. I realized how much I'd missed normal. Sarah called that night, her voice tight. Emma told me she's having a friend over this weekend. That's my weekend. You canceled last minute because of a work trip to Chicago. Emma didn't want to sit home alone. You're turning them against me. No, Sarah. I'm being their dad. There's a difference. I hung up. In April, Mark invited me to a fundraiser for a youth sports program. Get out of the house, he said. You've been a hermit for 4 months. The event was at a brewery in Rhino. I wasn't ready for socializing, but Mark was persistent. I went. That's where I met Rachel Winters. She was 35, a physical therapist who worked with young athletes. Dark blonde hair, easy smile, no wedding ring. We talked about kids and sports and the strange difficulty of building a life after divorce. How long have you been divorced? She asked. Not divorced yet. Separated since December. Long story involving Christmas and public confessions. She laughed. Sounds like a story worth hearing sometime. Maybe over coffee that isn't at a fundraiser? I'd like that. We exchanged numbers. I didn't call for 2 weeks. Then I did. We met for coffee at a place in Wash Park. She told me about her divorce 3 years earlier. Her ex-husband had been emotionally abusive, controlling, making her feel small. She'd rebuilt slowly, learning to trust herself again. You seem like you're doing okay, I said. I am now. But it took time. Some days I still wonder if I'll ever really trust someone again. She studied me. You seem pretty together for someone 4 months out. I'm good at looking together. Inside, I'm still figuring it out. That's honest. I appreciate honest. We started seeing each other casually. Coffee, dinners, walks around the park. Nothing serious, but something easy and real. She met Emma and Connor in May at a soccer game. She was natural with them, no forced enthusiasm or trying too hard. I like her, Emma said afterward. She's nice. She is, I agreed, but she's just a friend right now, okay? Okay, Dad. The divorce proceedings dragged through spring. Sarah fought for 50-50 custody, more spousal support, half my partnership stake. Catherine was relentless. She's grasping, Catherine said in June. The custody evaluator's report favors you. Her lawyer knows it. They're trying to leverage financials. What do I do? Stand firm. We have everything documented. The affair, the lies, her absences during your marriage. You've been the primary parent for months now. Don't give ground. In late June, my community center project reached completion. The opening ceremony drew 200 people. I walked through the space with the mayor, pointing out the design elements, the open gathering areas, the natural light, the sustainable materials. This is what Denver needs, the mayor said. Spaces that bring people together. I thought about Sarah's perfect Christmas party, all surface and performance. This building was the opposite. Functional, honest, built to last. Tom Brennan pulled me aside. Jake, I've got 3 more projects lined up. I want you as lead architect on all of them. You're ready. Appreciate the confidence. It's not confidence, it's recognition. You do good work, real work. That night, I took Emma and Connor to the opening. They ran through the building, excited about the climbing wall and basketball courts. Connor asked if I'd built it. I designed it. Other people built it, but yeah, it's mine. It's cool, Dad, Emma said. Later, after the kids were asleep, I sat on the back deck with a beer. Rachel had texted congratulations. Mark had called, proud. My parents had driven up for the ceremony. The divorce would be final in a month. Sarah had agreed to primary custody with me, standard visitation for her, and a fair asset split. She'd lost the fight because the truth was documented and undeniable. I'd built something that mattered, Not just the community center, a life. Honest, stable, real. The foundation was solid now. By August, the divorce was final. I stood in the courtroom as the judge signed the papers, feeling nothing but relief. Sarah sat across the aisle with her lawyer, avoiding eye contact. Catherine shook my hand outside. "You handled this with remarkable discipline," she said. "Most people let emotion drive these cases. You stayed strategic." "I just wanted it over." "Well, it's over. You have primary custody, the house, and a fair division. She has visitation and a fresh start, whatever that looks like for her." I drove back to the office, my partnership fully intact, no alimony, the kids secure. Whatever Sarah built next was her problem. The 3 projects Tom mentioned became reality. A mixed-use development in Highland, a renovation of a historic building downtown, and a residential complex in Stapleton. I was working 60-hour weeks again, but differently. Present at home in the mornings and evenings, unavailable only when absolutely necessary. Rachel and I were still seeing each other, more seriously now. She met my parents in September at Connor's birthday party. My mother pulled me aside afterward. "She's lovely, Jake, different from Sarah." "That's the point, Mom. I just mean she seems genuine, like she sees you, not just what you provide." "She does. It's different." In October, I was invited to speak at a design conference in Boulder. The topic was ethical architecture, building for communities, not just clients. I talked about the community center, about designing spaces that served real needs, about integrity in construction. Afterward, a young architect approached me. "Mr. Morrison, I'm graduating in December. Your work is why I got into this field. Is your firm hiring? Send me your portfolio, we might have something." His name was Miguel Santos, 24, hungry and talented. I hired him in November as a junior architect. He reminded me of myself at that age, idealistic, hardworking, convinced good design could matter. The holidays approached. No party this year, just Emma, Connor, and me decorating the tree, watching Christmas movies, baking cookies. Sarah had them Christmas Eve. I had Christmas Day. "This is nice," Emma said, hanging ornaments. "It's not perfect like before, but it's nice. Perfect's overrated, sweetheart." "Yeah, I like this better." On Christmas morning, Rachel came over. She brought gifts for the kids. Nothing extravagant, just thoughtful. A book series Emma wanted, a soccer ball signed by a player Connor admired. They loved her. Later, while the kids played outside, Rachel and I sat in the living room. "This is my first Christmas in someone's home in 4 years," she said. "Thank you for including me. Thank you for being here. Your kids are great, Jake. You're doing a good job." "I'm trying. Some days are harder than others. That's life. But you show up. That's what matters." In January, I heard through mutual friends that Sarah was struggling. She'd lost her job at the marketing firm, officially due to restructuring. But everyone knew the real reason. Professionally toxic after the affair scandal. She was working contract gigs, making a fraction of what she'd earned before. I felt no satisfaction, just sadness for the waste of it all. David Chen, I learned, had moved to Phoenix after his divorce. Starting over, away from the wreckage. His ex-wife had full custody of their kids. "Do you ever think about it?" Rachel asked one night. "What Sarah's life is like now?" "Sometimes. Mostly I just think about the kids and making sure they're okay. That's probably healthy. I hope so." By February, my firm promoted me to senior partner. I was 39, overseeing a team of 8 architects, managing major projects across Denver. The work was demanding, but fulfilling. Building things that lasted. Emma made honor roll. Connor scored the winning goal in his championship game. I coached his team, showed up at Emma's track meets, helped with homework every night. The rhythm was steady now. Miguel was thriving at the firm, learning fast, bringing fresh ideas. I mentored him the way Tom had mentored me, firm but supportive, expecting excellence but understanding mistakes. "Why'd you hire me?" Miguel asked one day over lunch. I was green. You could have hired someone experienced. Because you reminded me of myself, and because good work deserves a chance. I won't let you down. I know. That's why I hired you. By March, Rachel and I were serious. No talk of moving in together. Too soon, the kids needed stability, but genuine partnership. She understood my priorities. I understood hers. No games, no hidden agendas. You're different from anyone I've dated, she said one evening. You actually mean what you say. That's a low bar. You'd be surprised how rare it is. I thought about Sarah's lies, the 8 months of deception, the constructed perfection that hid rot underneath. Rachel was right. Honesty was rare. One Saturday in April, I drove past the community center. Kids were playing basketball, families gathered in the open spaces. The building looked exactly as I'd designed it. Functional, welcoming, real. I'd built something that mattered, not just the building, a life. For myself, for Emma and Connor, for the people I worked with. The foundation was solid. The structure was rising. Whatever came next, I was ready. May brought warmth and new beginnings. Emma turned 11, Connor 8. They'd adapted remarkably, resilient in ways I envied. Sarah had them every other weekend, taking them to movies or parks. The interactions were civil, distant. She'd become a peripheral figure in their lives, visiting rather than parenting. I heard through Mark that Sarah had moved to Fort Collins for a marketing job at a startup. Fresh start, away from Denver's memories. I wished her well, genuinely. Not for her sake, but because I'd moved past needing her to suffer for the divorce to feel fair. How do you do that? Rachel asked when I mentioned it. Not carry anger? I did carry it, for months. But anger's heavy, and I was tired of carrying it. She's their mom. They need her not to be destroyed, even if she's not in their daily lives. That's mature. Or I'm just too busy to care anymore. The firm was thriving. Tom Brennan had retired, recommending me as his replacement on several major projects. At 40, I was managing contracts worth millions, mentoring young architects like Miguel, shaping Denver's landscape with buildings that would outlast me. In June, I received an award from the Colorado chapter of the American Institute of Architects for the Community Center project. The ceremony was downtown, attended by architects, city officials, and clients. Emma and Connor came, dressed up and proud. My dad built that building, Connor told anyone who'd listen. Designed it, I corrected, but he didn't care about technicalities. During my acceptance speech, I talked about integrity and design. Architecture is about more than aesthetics or engineering. It's about building spaces that serve real needs with honest materials. When you compromise on honesty, in materials, in design, in relationships, the structure fails eventually. What lasts is what's built on truth. I saw Rachel in the audience, smiling. She understood I wasn't just talking about buildings. Sarah texted congratulations the next day. A brief message, nothing more. I appreciated the gesture, didn't respond. We'd reached the appropriate distance, co-parents of shared children, nothing beyond that. In July, Miguel came to me with a proposal. I want to start a nonprofit, pro bono design work for community spaces in underserved neighborhoods. Would you support it? I'll do better than support it. I'll help you build it. We launched the initiative in August, Colorado Community Designs. Volunteer architects providing free or low-cost design services for schools, community centers, and nonprofits that couldn't afford traditional fees. The firm sponsored it. Other architects joined. Within 3 months, we had 5 projects in development. This is what it's about, Miguel said, reviewing plans for a renovated community center in Globeville. Building things that matter. You're learning fast. I had a good teacher. In September, Rachel and I took the kids camping in Rocky Mountain National Park. 4 days of hiking, fishing, and sitting around campfires. No phones, no schedules, just time together. Think you'll ever want more kids? Rachel asked one night after Emma and Connor had gone to sleep in their tent. Maybe, someday. with the right person. Am I the right person? I think you might be, but let's not rush it. I've learned the hard way what happens when you build on a bad foundation. Fair enough, I can wait. Good, because I'm not going anywhere. She kissed me, and I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Certainty. Not perfection, but solid ground. I saw Sarah once more that fall, at Emma's school conference. She looked better, healthier, more settled. We talked briefly about Emma's progress, Connor's soccer schedule. Cordial, distant, appropriate. You seem happy, she said as we walked to our cars. I am. You? Getting there. Fort Collins is good. Fresh start. I'm glad, Sarah, really. I know I destroyed what we had. I know I don't deserve forgiveness. But I hope someday you'll understand I never meant to hurt you. I understand you made choices. So did I. We both have to live with them. She nodded, got in her car, and drove away. I watched her leave, feeling nothing but quiet gratitude that this chapter was closed. By November, Emma asked if Rachel might come to Thanksgiving at my parents' house. She's important to you, Dad. She should be there. You sure about that? Yeah. We like her. And you're happier when she's around. Rachel came to Thanksgiving. My parents welcomed her warmly. Mark and his wife treated her like family. Emma and Connor showed her off like a prize. It felt right. Christmas approached, the 2-year anniversary of the party that ended my marriage. This time, no decorations meticulously arranged, just the kids and me putting up lights, Rachel helping bake cookies, Mark and his family coming over for movies. On Christmas Eve, after the kids were asleep, I stood on the back deck looking at Denver's lights. Rachel joined me, handing me a beer. You've built a good life, she said. We've built a good life. That's true. Together. I thought about that Christmas 2 years ago. The perfect decorations, the lies underneath, the public explosion that ended everything. Then I thought about this. Imperfect, honest, real. You know what I learned? I said. Perfect is just a performance. Real is messy and complicated and worth fighting for. That's wisdom talking. That's experience talking. The next morning, Christmas Day, Emma and Connor tore through presents. Rachel watched with quiet joy. I took pictures, made breakfast, felt grateful for the ordinary miracle of a good day with people who mattered. In January, I got an email from David Chen. Subject line, apology and gratitude. Jake, I know this email is years too late. I've been in therapy, trying to understand why I destroyed my marriage and hurt so many people. I don't expect forgiveness, but I wanted you to know I'm truly sorry for my part in what happened. I also wanted to say thank you. The way you handled everything, with dignity and strength, showed me what accountability looks like. I'm trying to live that way now. I hope you and your family are well. David. I read it twice, then deleted it. Not out of anger, but because that chapter was closed. He needed to send it. I didn't need to respond. By February, Colorado Community Designs had completed 3 projects. Schools with upgraded facilities, community centers with better spaces, real impact on real neighborhoods. Miguel was leading the nonprofit full-time, passionate and effective. You gave me more than a job, he told me. You showed me what architecture can be when it's about service. You did the work, Miguel. I just opened the door. Still, thank you. I looked at the drawings for our latest project, a youth center in Aurora. Clean lines, honest materials, spaces built to serve. It reminded me of that Christmas 2 years ago, standing in my house watching my marriage end publicly. I'd rebuilt from that foundation. Not perfect, but solid. Not performance, but real. Emma and Connor were thriving. Rachel and I were building something genuine. The work mattered. The days had meaning. That was success. Not the kind Sarah chased with her perfect parties and secret lies. The kind built on truth, discipline, and showing up every day. I'd learned what truly mattered. Integrity in work, honesty in relationships, presence with the people you love. Everything else was just noise. If this story resonated with you, Hit that like button and let me know in the comments. What was the moment that hit hardest? Jake's calm at the Christmas party explosion, his methodical rebuilding, or the final peace he found with Rachel and his kids? Drop your thoughts below. And if you're ready for more stories about men who rebuild their lives with strength and integrity after betrayal, subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next.